All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. So what I want to do today is go over the July releases as well as just remind everybody of what our June releases were. So I'll kind of be touching on those as we go through demonstrating what features and enhancements were released to us in July. And then at the end of this, I want to show everybody a preview of our map merge. So this is something that we've been working on for quite a few months now, and it's still a work in progress, but it is going to lead to kind of a pretty big just change visually for everybody. So want to just preview that a little bit, and then just so you're a little bit more prepared for that, as well as just touch on a few troubleshooting tips. So there's just some questions that I've gotten quite a bit lately, and just want to offer some troubleshooting tips for that. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So in June, if you remember, a feature that was released, or an enhancement that was released, was the ability to search by coordinates. So if you have coordinates on a farm, whether you have like a different map or anything that shows those coordinates, you can throw those in here and search for the farm that way. It is going to take you right to those coordinates, so you might need to zoom out a little bit to find the exact parcel or the exact property that you were wanting to add. So with this feature, I'm going to lead in to the first July feature that I want to show off, and that is the ability to generate soil maps for different acre types. So in this particular parcel, we can see that we have what looks like tillable acres as well as woodland acres. So when I click on this on the map, I'm just going to add this by the parcel. I'm not going to add the fields yet. So when I have my parcel added, I'm going to use the CLUs. So I'm just going to create my fields from CLUs, and I see I have multiple ones. Now, when I want to generate a soil map by the different acre types, I have to have two things. There has to be more than one field on the farm, and or on the property, there has to be more than one field, and I have to have different multiple acre types that are assigned. So what do I mean by that? So if I create from CLUs, I can see I've got 6 different fields here. That's quite a bit. I can see some of these look like they should be merged together. So I'm going to use the merge feature here. I'm just going to merge some of these fields together. I go ahead and merge those. And then over here, I've got another little sliver. I'm just going to merge with the woodland as well. All right, so now I went from 6 fields down to, looks like 4. I've got different acre types. I've got woodland acres. It looks like all of that. And then I got some dryland acres here. And then it's saying there's some site acres, but we can edit those acre details and say that's not really relevant here. And we'll just make this 112.53. And all that is what our dryland. So now I've got dryland acres and woodland acres. So when I add this farm to my account, and I go over to the farm details, when I click on soil, this acreage types drop down is going to appear. And I'm going to be able to select any of the acre types that I applied. So by default, it's going to generate that soil report based off of your productive acres. But oops, I may not zoom out that way. But if I also wanted to have a map that is showing the woodland acres and what like the soil rating for those woodland acres is, I can add that. I can uncheck the dry land, and I can generate a separate soil map if I wanted by clicking view PDF for those woodland acres. Now, just to show a couple more examples of this, over here, we have a farm that consists, we can see multiple different fields here, but all of these fields have acres that are simply marked as dry land productive. So if I were to navigate to the soil map, I'm not going to see that acreage type drop down because there's only one acre type. Even though there's multiple fields, there's only a single acre type. So I'm not going to see that over there. Whereas over here, again, we've got two fields, two different acre types. So when I click on that soil tab, I can generate a report based off of the different acre types. And we see this one includes other non-productive. So again, depending on the type of acres that I have designated, so you go and edit acre details. If I designate irrigated, woodland, wetland, however I disperse these acres across the different fields is what will appear in that drop down. But again, you've got to have multiple fields so that the map knows like, all right, this portion here is woodland, this portion is productive. You don't have to use the CLUs to do that. Again, you can use those manual edit details here. Okay, any questions so far on that feature? All right. Okay, so while we are on this 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 farm here, I do want to show the an update that was made. So to our aerial map, so if you click on generate report, if we generate an aerial map, so this was one of those June releases. We did make this a bit bigger, so it takes up a bit more real estate on the PDF when you generate that and when you print that off. There are some additional enhancements that we are making to the PDFs that will include a bit more details around location, providing you with like the section township range as well as the long coordinates. So if I hop over here into documents, let me look at that aerial map, we can see that that's much bigger now. And again, some additional enhancements are going to be coming to these maps in the future. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show is the ability to move a field from one farm to another. So why might you need this feature? You know, there's myriad reasons I suppose you could use this. Like it was mistakenly added to one, perhaps a sale was split. So all I have to do is navigate to the farm that has the field that I want to move. As long as it is not attached to a lease, you can move that field. So I think most of our customers are not leveraging the land management feature and the leasing. So if for any reason you need to move a field from one to another, you're just going to log in here, click fields and parcels. You're going to find the field that you want to move. And you're just going to say, all right, move the field. And then you're going to find the name, search for the name of the farm that you want to move that field to. So the farm does have to exist wherever you're going to move the field to. That farm does have to exist. You can't create a new farm as you are moving that field. So I'm going to say, here's where it is currently. This is the farm I want to move it to. Save and okay. So now if I refresh this, that field will no longer be associated with that farm. Shouldn't be. And it'll be over with that DeKalb farm instead. Any questions on that? All right, so next, when you are currently reviewing your sold farms or your farms for sale maps, if we're navigating over here, we added this additional filter in under the advanced search. So this created date filter here, so that allows you to filter those sold farms or those auctions by when they were added to the platform. So when we either added those auctions in or when we ingested that data from one of our, our data providers, you want to look at any farms or any sold properties that were added within the last, let's say, 2 weeks, you would just apply that filter and you can see any of those farms that were added and with the time within the time frame that they were added into the platform. All right. The last one I want to show off is for a lot of our enterprise customers who have integrated a CRM. So previously, we were able to only integrate with Salesforce. And so when you navigated into your farms maps or within Client Intelligence, you would see your Salesforce connection there. So if we navigate into our organization contacts, so instead of it saying contacts here, it said Salesforce. And now we've genericized that to just simply contacts because we are now able to integrate with more CRMs and just wanted to make sure that you know whatever CRM our customers use, that they were able to connect with that, and it wasn't just for Salesforce. So when I zoom in on the map here, if I click on contacts or if I want to see operators, so this is our demo account, so I don't have too much integrated with like the Salesforce here, but whatever layer I navigate into, whether it's operator, my UCC, or my mortgage, I'm going to want to click on this contacts here because that will allow me to then connect and open up that Salesforce. So I need to apply this as well. And my demo account doesn't have a whole lot of that. So there we go. So if I have my Babson Farms here, when I have this contacts layer applied, I'm able to connect to, my Salesforce account, or if I connected with a different CRM, such as HubSpot, it would say HubSpot or whatever that CRM is. But for the most part, within those layers have been genericized just to say contacts instead of the specific CRM there. All right, any questions? Okay, so a couple of troubleshooting things that I want to go over. So the first one has to do with a single parcel ID that is made up of multiple tracks. So for this particular one, we're going to head to Lee County, Illinois, and we're going to look up this parcel ID here. So if you encounter a parcel that is made up of, it is two shapes, but it is a single parcel ID. Perhaps it's bisected by a road or a river or something like that. If you search for it by the parcel ID or owner name, it's going to add it in as it should appear. However, I'm going to discard this real quick. If I were to click on the shape on the map, it's treating this as two different shapes. So if I were to add this in just by clicking on the map, I'm now going to have two different parcels, two different fields that are the same parcel ID. So the easy solve for that is if you choose to find the farm this way, is to just take the parcel ID and just do a quick copy and paste and just search by, whatever county it's in, and then search by that parcel ID and add it that way. So that way, it's adding, whoops, I gave it too many things to do. That way it's just adding it as a single parcel as it's intended to see, and you're not adding the parcel as two separate shapes. All right, so the second thing is this is not a very widespread thing, but it is an issue that we've noticed that we are working to resolve. So in a few counties, and particularly in Meeker County, Minnesota, we are receiving incorrect deeded acre data. So we can see this particular piece of land here, it's saying there is only 1 acre. And the parcel it is showing is 1 acre, which we can obviously see is incorrect. So how do we resolve that? Well, we can see the measured acres is coming in as 209.61, but they're saying the deeded acres is only one. We're going to say that's not correct. So I'm just going to hop in here to this, click on the parcel link there and grab the deeded acres 223.36. All I have to do is just edit the acre details, whether it's with the exact deeded acres or not. Just have to make that correction there. And then that will be resolved. Those acre details will be resolved here. My field, I can either edit the acre details and make that correction there, or I can just discard, hop back over to my parcel and create field from shape. And now my field matches my parcel exactly with those exact acres, and I can continue adding that farm to my account. So again, we are working to resolve that. We know there are some problem counties with data that needs to be reviewed and resolved. So we are working to make that happen. But if you do encounter something like that, just know that you can make those edits to those acres to what you need it to actually be. Okay, so the last thing I want to go over is the map merge preview. So, what is going to happen down the road is this browse down drop down here is going to disappear, and all of our maps are going to be merged into this over here. So where you see map. So, we can expand this and we can see we've got our contacts, mortgages. So depending on what you are subscribed to and what data you have, you'll see some different layers here. So if I expand that layers, we can see our parcels. If we zoom in, we can see those different labels there. So all of those map layers that exist elsewhere in the platform are all going to come here. You'll still be able to search, for your farms up here, for the properties up here. But then within this map merge, you're going to be applying the different layers all in one. So there's no more kind of guessing. Do I go to the sold farms map? Do I go to the plat map? Do I go to, if you're using our client intelligence feature, do I go there? It'll just all be within this map, and you'll be able to apply different layers. And eventually be able to save different filters that are a preference for yourself or your team. Okay, any questions about this? Before this comes out, we will be doing a lot of obviously internal testing and do everything that we can to notify our customers and make sure that you are prepared for this rollout, so that it's not you log in on a Monday morning and it has suddenly changed and you had no idea. So we will be notifying people and making sure that any of our guides and videos are updated to accommodate all of these new features. So we will be working hard to make sure that that is communicated appropriately. But if there's any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask us.